There's simple things like this. What does it look like for them? How does the system flow for your client? Is there ease with what goes on for them? So the system has to flow because you know yourself that you won't do something if it doesn't flow. So have a look at those systems. How much does your client have to interact with your systems to make that flow for you? And it is worth paying the money right at the beginning and to be able to have a system that you keep forever. I've got systems in place. Easy for my clients to find me. It's easy. Well, it's actually really hard for them to book in. We want a business that supports us and we want a business that gives us joy. And part of joy is knowing our numbers, knowing our systems, and connecting with Geraldine and making that appointment.
Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. We have interviews during the holiday season and business and mindset support each week, so you'll get the variety you need to enjoy and stay motivated in your practice. Don't forget to subscribe to receive the weekly episodes. And if you want to connect with me, always check the show notes because that's where you'll find the links to book appointments and, of course, to join the Academy, the membership group where there's constant connection and community with like-minded practitioners. Now, let's get started.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite Size Podcast. How the devil are you? When we first come out into practice, we have to make decisions, and generally we see clients one-to-one. We might want to look at using a program. We might want to look at using somebody else's program, so some system that somebody else has created within our practice to make life easier, because we do bloods and we upload the bloods and we weigh them and we do this and we do that and we follow their system. Or we might go into one-to-one practice, just seeing what walks through our doors. Generally what happens when we're qualified. Then after a little bit, something will happen. You might become a bit overwhelmed, or you might discover that you're not enjoying it. Maybe you're not getting on with it. Maybe you're a bit bored, whatever it is, and you need to shake it up a bit. And that's the point at which, you need to book in with me. But if you're not going to do that, you need to look at the systems that you have in practice. We've talked about that a couple of weeks ago. You need to look at your time. Talked about that last time. But what we really need to look at is how we can change things up, how we can have a package or a program, what we can develop within our practice to add more value for our clients, to maybe lessen the stress on us because we're able to hand out this additional value to our clients. When we think about those settings, we have to think about our growth. Generally, we start out small. We start out with one or two clients here and there. Then they start telling their friends, and then we get more and more clients. So when we think about, I'm going to go into practice, we want to think about what systems are going to work for me in the long run. You don't want to be changing things over. And when we're in it, if we start to ramp up and get busy, that then might be the time to go, I know I should have done this 6 months ago. I couldn't afford it then. I will do it right now. I won't leave it for another 6 months when I have double the number of clients. So setting up our systems is all part of setting up all that background stuff. What system do I have in place? Can they book a focus call with me or discovery call, whatever? Can they book one with me? And if they can, how easy is it for them to do so? How difficult do I make it for them to connect with me? Is there a spot on my website that might just be for an email? How are they connecting with me? Am I missing stuff here? Have I got Google Analytics on my website so that I can have a look at it and go, I got a lot of traffic, but nobody's stopping. Why are they not stopping? What are they trying to do and they're not able to do? So just spend a little bit of time around the whole idea of the discovery call and the focus call and what you're going to do with that information from them, how you're going to deliver back to a client and how you're going to get a client to book in with you, which is what they want to do. They wouldn't have booked the time. They wouldn't have booked the 15 minutes if they didn't have an intention of booking in with you. So If you're having spam people and they're booking in, then nobody's there and there's no answer, and it's happening on a regular basis. Have you been hacked? That's worth looking at. It might be you just take it down for a month and put it back up again if it's happened to you in the past. But it's a system. It's a system of meeting people. What information are you getting off that person? And once you've got your system in place, it's really useful. It's a really good learning experience. You can discover all sorts of things in a very short space of time and book your ideal client in off that conversation. When we have our systems, what is it that you need? What system do you need? Do things flow in your clinic? And when I talk about flow, I talk about flow from the very start. Okay. So if you have a physical clinic, how did the person find you? How did they book in with you? And what do they see when they come in? Often when we come into a building, we'll come in a back door or something. So what do they see? You need to take their journey into your space and sit in their chair and see what they see, because then you see the reality of what they have. You need to take the journey as your client, receiving that information from you that you've handed them. What does this mean to them? What I find with a lot of people are words. You say, we're advertising and we're saying metabolism and metabolic. Now, metabolism people get. We've got a metabolism. They hear that word a lot. But metabolic, is that a word that people use in general conversation? We've got to think about our language and what we do, how we speak to people. Then the person leaving, what happens after they leave, how many emails you send them, how do they get their prescription, all of those things. If it's an online appointment, again, how do they find you? Have they easily got the email that's got the link for them to join you? Does the system work so that you can interact really well and really easily with your client? What information can you send them during that consult that they need? What is it that's going to support you as you talk to them? I mean, one of the things that supports me is having a big screen so that I can have things up. I can have multiple things up as I'm talking to them when I'm on the screen. When I'm with them one-to-one, I only have my small laptop open and I have a tendency to write when I see them face-to-face. Whereas when I see someone online, I'm typing. I can look at the screen and I can type. There's simple things like this. What does it look like for them? How does the system flow for your client? Is there ease with what goes on for them? Because if they've got to do, you know what it's like. You've got to do a ton of different clicking to get something. You give up. I'm just not going to do it. I just don't care anymore. I don't care enough. I've got to fill out this form. I've got to do this. I've got to click on that. I've got to go over here. I'm on a new, forget it. I can't be bothered. So the system has to flow because you know yourself that you won't do something if it doesn't flow. Or I won't. I'll just give up. I'll say, too many clicks, not doing it. Don't care anymore. Forget it. So have a look at those systems. How much does your client have to interact with your systems to make that flow for you? And it is worth paying the money right at the beginning and to be able to have a system that you keep forever. I've got systems in place. Easy for my clients to find me. It's easy. Well, it's actually really hard for them to book in. We want a business that supports us and we want a business that gives us joy. And part of joy is knowing our numbers, knowing our systems, and connecting with Geraldine and making that appointment. All the best. Catch up with you soon. Thanks so much for joining me today. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast for the weekly episodes. If you'd like even more support and learning, then the Academy is for you. Here you'll find part 2 of the herbal discussions, more clinical learning, and case studies to support your clients in practice. Bye for now.